ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
The LouieTeeNetwork is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Sunday Night Football Overtime. Falcons, Vikings, two 2024 first-round quarterbacks dueling relatively early in their NFL careers. Penix making his fifth career NFL start. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy making his second career NFL start, both of which have come on primetime television. Last week, we saw the remarkable fourth quarter comeback against the Bears on Monday Night Football. Quick turnaround, short week, Sunday Night Football at home for his first career home start. For J.J. McCarthy, it did not go well. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but we will start with the Atlanta Falcons. To the victors go the spoils, 22-6. The Falcons get it done, get their first win of the season after last week's disappointing loss at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They made an important change tonight. Younghoe Koo, healthy scratch. Instead, they went with the serial kicker, John Parker Romo. He was one of the stars of the show tonight, not connecting on 4 field goals, including a 654-yarder. That also helped on a night where the Falcons just frankly struggled to find the end zone. As a matter of fact, I think the serial kicker hit 5 field goals, not 4. A lot of drives stalling out in the red zone for the Falcons. They dominated the first half, and it was crazy that they only had a 3-point lead to show for it at halftime, up 9-6. With the way that they played in the first half, they should have been up a lot more. But the thing that was so impressive tonight, if you're a Falcons fan, and this is what has to have you really upbeat about this team moving forward, is the amount of pressure you were able to apply tonight. Now, some of that could be a young quarterback, deer in headlights. The offensive line that the Vikings put out there, not the best of quality. And then they had guys go down during the course of the night, so that made it even more difficult for them. But you guys really got after the quarterback tonight. If you're a Falcons fan, this is why you spent 2 first-round picks on edge rushers, guys that you thought could get to the quarterback, right? You know, Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. This is why you went out and got Gumby. This is why you spent all those resources trying to spruce up a pass rush that has been among the worst in the league over the last decade or so, it feels like. It feels like you haven't gotten pressure on the quarterback in quite some time. And tonight was refreshing to see them be as dominant up front, getting to J.J. McCarthy, harassing him, making him uncomfortable, forcing turnovers. It's something that has to be a sight for sore eyes for Falcons fans everywhere. So that was the first thing that jumped out for me in this 22-6 victory for the Falcons, is that they were able to produce on the defensive side of the football. Didn't really know what to expect in this game in terms of offensive output, who was going to do what. It was kind of like last night's fight, sort of a feeling out process with the two teams, but ultimately, like the fight last night, the Falcons were just too much for the Vikings. The run game was the catalyst, over 200 yards rushing on the evening for the Falcons. It started on the very first possession, Bejon with an extraordinary run to get things kicked off, and it just never really stopped. They were consistent on the ground all night. Algier kind of finished the night off for the Falcons, helping them put it away. But they had no answers for the ground game of the Atlanta Falcons, did the Minnesota Vikings tonight. And that was the thing that really allowed Michael Penix to just manage the game. Didn't have to do too much. Didn't have to feel like he had to be the hero. Last week, he was called upon to do more. He had to use his legs, had to, make some big time throws, had to be a little bit more assertive. This week, he was allowed to just be a young quarterback, managing the game. Don't make the mistake that's going to turn this game on its head. And when you're, number is called and it's required for you to make a throw, make it. And he did that for the most part tonight. The one thing you should be concerned about, though, well, two things, actually. One, AJ Terrell went down tonight, and it's a hamstring, which means he's probably going to miss some time, right? Anytime you're talking about a soft tissue injury for a guy at a skill position, it's usually going to be some time. So that's something to keep an eye on if you're a Falcons fan. So that's one. Two, the red zone woes tonight. The only reason that you didn't score 30 plus, possibly 40, is because you were abysmal in the red zone. Whether it was penalties, I think the first drive was undone by, penalties and can't hear and all that good stuff. The efficiency, I didn't necessarily love the play calling down there either. Like, I didn't think you did yourself any favors. I thought the word I'm looking for is conservative down there. Almost like, hey, let's not turn it over. Let's be smart. We'll take points. And that's cool when you're playing quarterback making a second career NFL start and you're able to rattle his cage. But when you're playing against, offenses that can actually score, that might not be enough. So that's something else to keep an eye on if you're a Falcons fan from tonight's contest. But ultimately, you did everything you set out to do tonight except light up the scoreboard. But you did enough there as well. But to get after the quarterback, Raheem Morris said that they were going to be more assertive in the run game. That was not them last week against Tampa. They were going to be better running the football, and they were going to establish that run. They did that tonight. I thought Penix looked comfortable. I thought he was solid. It was good to see Kyle Pitts get his shit off early in this game. I think they're going to have a really good connection. And for Falcons fans, that's another guy that you really want to see step up. They picked up the fifth-year option. They seem to have a better relationship and rapport do Penix Jr. and Kyle Pitts, which is important. And if they can unlock Pitts and he can become a factor and a weapon to go along with Drake London and Darnell Mooney and Bejon Robinson out of the backfield catching the football as well, all of a sudden this team is highly dangerous offensively. He seems to be the guy that I feel like could be that X factor to unlock everything because, as we know, the tight end position is a mismatch position. It's a chess piece position in the National Football League. And if you've got one that can win one-on-one matchups, that can separate, that can do the things that Kyle Pitts has the ability to do, you have a potential game changer. And if they can unlock him, I think he could be the X factor for that offense. It was good to see him start the game fast. He was effective last week as well. We'll see if this continues as the Falcons continue to try to find their stride offensively. So good win on the road for the Atlanta Falcons. I was really impressed with the defense. As I mentioned, the special teams coverage units were fantastic tonight. Got the fumble there at the end to kind of put an exclamation point on the night that they had covering kicks, because last week the rookie Price was fantastic returning punts and whatnot. And so there was this expectation that, hey, you got to look out for this kid. And they shut him completely down tonight. So also credit the Falcons special teams units for going out there and really asserting themselves in this game too. I thought the offensive line did a pretty solid job. There were a couple of breakdowns, here and there, where Penix ended up getting sacked. But for the most part, they stood up, gave Penix time when he needed it, opened up a bunch of rushing holes for the running backs. And this D-line played well tonight. They got to the quarterback. I think what did they end up with? 6 sacks on the night, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Forced a fumble, forced 2 interceptions, almost a third. So this defense was fantastic tonight. And obviously, when you don't give up a touchdown in a game, you played your ass off. And when you are able to create 6 sacks and force 3 turnovers, yeah, take a bow defensively if you are the Atlanta Falcons. So this was a big win on the road after a disappointing loss in week 1. To bounce back in this manner, really tough environment to go get a win, especially on a Sunday night. And to bounce back in the manner that you did tonight, that should make you feel really good. And then you look around at your division, and again, we know it's not the best division in the world as is, but Carolina's off to an 0-2 start. The Saints stink. And Tampa Bay plays tomorrow night on the road against the Houston Texans. They could easily drop that game and be 1-1. And then voila, you're right there tied at 1-1. Now, again, they beat you last week and they beat you in Atlanta. So that's a tough one. You're going to have to find a way to go back and try to get that. But ultimately, you're going to be right there in the mix. If you're the Atlanta Falcons, I feel you're going to be right there in the mix as long as you can stay healthy. As long as you can stay healthy, you're going to be right there in the mix. This was a big one on the road. Get it done 22-6 to even up your mark at 1-1. Meanwhile, for the Minnesota Vikings, this was a very disappointing and probably humbling loss on Sunday Night Football. A very disappointing effort from your young quarterback. The offensive line didn't, do him any favors either. The defense fought for as long as it could tonight, kept the Falcons out of the end zone, and really gave the Vikings a chance in this game. But eventually, the dam's going to break, and you're going to let go of the rope at some point, and they did late in the game. But they gave their team every opportunity to win this game. They forced a fumble. Eric Wilson's been playing his ass off the first 2 weeks of the season. We talked about him, last week when he came in for Blake Cashman and immediately had an impact on the game. Had a big forced fumble early in this game to give the Vikings some life. The defense did what it needed to do. Only thing that it really didn't do was stop the run tonight. That was the one thing that the defense didn't do consistently enough. But outside of that, the defense they forced a turnover. They got to Penix a couple of times, at least twice, maybe 3 times, and they kept them out of the end zone for much of the night. I mean, if a team kicks 5 field goals, you probably should win the game. You probably should win the game. If you hold a team to 22 points and 5 of those and 5 field goals make up the 22 points, like, you probably should win the game. But unfortunately, the offense just couldn't get it done, and that's a big issue. And it's going to be interesting to see the growth of J.J. McCarthy throughout the course of this season, because as we talked about, he's in a very unique situation. Normally, when you're a first-round quarterback and you're starting, early in your career, usually year 1, but this is not year 1 for him, but he would have been starting more likely than not year 1. Sam Darnold was here, so he might have still been on the bench. Who knows? Darnold was going to start the season last year, but it might have been totally different how he played. But ultimately, when you start early in your career, you're usually not on a Super Bowl contending team. You're not on a team that has aspirations to do something big. You're usually on a bad team, a poor team that, or a mediocre team, someone that's middle of the pack, and the expectations aren't as high. This is a veteran Vikings team ready to win right now. And, you heard them talking at the end of the telecast, like, you probably got some guys frustrated tonight. Like, hey, look, they know what they're dealing with. They know they got a rookie quarterback. They know that it's going to take time. It's not going to just be this, quick transformation for him where the light bulb comes on and he's got it. Like last week, and I thought they illustrated that beautifully tonight by saying, look, it's been 7 bad quarters of football offensively and 1 good quarter. Like, let's not kid ourselves. What we've watched the Vikings do over the first 2 weeks of the season, they haven't been good on offense at all. They've been awful, actually. And tonight was much of the same. They had 1 good quarter to stop them from being 0-2 right now. So, like, all tonight was a continuation of what last week was until the 4th quarter. So they just picked right back up where they were at the end of the 3rd quarter last week. And unfortunately for them, instead of being able to do what they did a week ago, which is flip the switch in the 4th quarter, it was just more of the same in the 4th quarter. And they just were stagnant. The run game never really got going like it did last week when the comeback really started. They tried to get Jordan Mason going. He had the big run. It was negated due to a penalty. So they just could never get out of their own way. They could never get into an offensive rhythm. McCarthy was under constant duress. He turned the ball over tonight, which you can't do. And again, one of those teachable moments for him. He'll be better because of what transpired tonight. But ultimately, That was tough to watch. If you're a Vikings fan, that was rough. You score 6 points, you give up, you surrender, 6 or 7 sacks, whatever the number ended up being. You turn it over 3 times, 4, I guess, if you count the muff punt at the very end. The game was over then, but still, McCarthy himself, contributed to 3 turnovers. You had the muff punt at the end, 4 turnovers on the night, 6 sacks given up, a run game that wasn't consistent. You lose Aaron Jones in this game. Don't know the severity of his injury, but that's not good. You still have 1 more week before Jordan Addison is able to come back and eligible to be back from the suspension. So you still got some shit to figure out. You had opportunities. Jalen Naylor running wide open down the sideline. J.J. McCarthy missed him. And these are the growing pains of a young quarterback, right? Taking sacks, not getting rid of the football, fumbled on a sack where he got hit, missed opportunity on a deep ball to potentially get you back in the game, threw a really bad pick right before the half, squandered some great field position. Like, these are some things that come with the territory of a young quarterback making his second career NFL start. And even though he was able to mask a lot of things last week with the performance in the fourth quarter, it looked a lot like it did tonight. So this is who he's going to be, I think, for a little while. They're going to have to, weather the storm. The defense is going to have to, create some takeaways, some short fields. Special teams is going to have to chip. Everybody's going to have to chip in until this offense is where they need it to be and able to carry its own weight. Right now, McCarthy is struggling. And his offense is struggling because of it. And so everybody else is going to have to chip in and do a little bit more while he's figuring it out. Hopefully, he'll figure it out sooner rather than later, but it's a process. We talk about it all the time. The good thing is he's getting reps. He's getting opportunities. But as I said at the top, this is a Super Bowl caliber team. This is a playoff-ready roster. And it's tough when you won the second most games in the conference a year ago and you're now dealing with a rookie, essentially, quarterback, a second-year quarterback, but only making his second career NFL start tonight. And he could bottleneck your football team. He could bottleneck your football team this year. That's the harsh reality if you're a Vikings fan. You may not be trying to hear that right now. It's week 2. Things can get better. We expect them to. But how long is it going to take? We don't know. But I'll say this. The division probably won't be as good as it was last year. And I say that loosely because Green Bay looks like they could take Detroit's spot. Detroit's announced that they're back today. But again, that might be more of an indictment on Chicago than it is just how good Detroit is. We'll find out. But I can tell you that nobody in that division, maybe Green Bay, but I don't think even Green Bay is going to be able to do that this year. I don't see anybody winning 15 games or even 14 for that matter in that division. Green Bay, I could see them winning 13 games or so this season if they stay healthy. But you're going to have a chance to figure some things out. You caught a break now with Joe Burrow getting injured, and not that Jake Browning can't bless you because he most certainly can. But you caught a break. You may be able to take advantage of a Cincinnati team without their leader and Joe Burrow, and maybe you sneak a game that you might not have otherwise been able to get had Joe Burrow been healthy. So who knows? We'll see what happens for the Vikings moving forward. But I told y'all last week, I don't love their running back situation. Not that anything's wrong with Jordan Mason, but I didn't love their situation. And now with the injury to Aaron Jones, it could go from bad to worse back there. So going to be interesting to see what the Vikings do. Tonight was a rough go of it. The offensive line is falling apart at the seams with all the injuries. I think 2 guys left the game with concussions. At some point, you're going to get Christian Darrisaw back. That feels imminent. That feels like it could be as early as next week, maybe the week after. But you're about to hit, a couple of weeks over across the pond. So you would love to have Darrisaw back before then. But whatever the case may be, there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. And to me, it starts up front. the ability to protect J.J. McCarthy, open up some holes in the run game, etc. If you can't do those things, it's going to be tough on a rookie who's already trying to figure it out. The last thing he needs to be doing is worried about the pass rush and running for his life, which is what happened tonight. He was really under duress tonight, was not comfortable. And then when he had opportunities, he didn't always hit them. As I mentioned, the Jalen Naylor miss was humongous. At that time of the game, you had to have it, and there it was, and he missed. And as we know in the NFL, you do not get those opportunities very often. So that was a tough one if you're a Vikings fan. For as exhilarating a win as Monday night was, this was just deflating tonight. It wasn't equally as debilitating tonight. No, it was just deflating. Or you got a slice of humble pie tonight. Like, humble thyself. You are not like that yet. And that shit happens every week to teams in the NFL. I know, happened to my team this past Thursday, right? And sometimes you get told to sit the hell down and shut up. And that's what happened to the Vikings tonight. Defensively, they did enough. Gave you ample opportunities. I really like Isaiah Rodgers. I like that addition at corner. Although, I don't know what the hell he was doing on that one play where he just pushed Drake London. I was like, why did you do that again? But outside of that, like, he plays some sound corner. Now, opposite of him, my hands are up. Like, it's a lot of stuff on that other side. I'm good. But ultimately, the defense did what it needed to do. Offense had its moments, but it couldn't find the end zone, as we know. Didn't score a touchdown tonight. And I'm actually curious, what did the third down numbers look like? I don't think either team was all that great on third downs, but I know it had to be really rough for Minnesota on third downs. So the Vikings were 4 of 11 on third downs. 198 yards of total offense for the Minnesota Vikings tonight. Ouch. Only 46 total plays on offense tonight. Ouch. 120 yards passing for the Vikings tonight. Ouch. Now, I say that the Falcons had 108 yards passing. Now, remember, with the passing yards stat, they subtract the amount of sack yardage you have from your passing total, which I don't necessarily love, but I get it. So Michael Penix actually had 135 yards passing, as you can see on the screen. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy had 158. But when you take into consideration the sack yards, brings him down pretty significantly. So ultimately, Vikings, back to the drawing board. You have to protect J.J. McCarthy. That's what tonight said to me. Like, I don't know what the run game is going to look like. It's probably going to be hit or miss each week. Aaron Jones getting injured doesn't help that situation. But ultimately, you got enough weaponry for him to get the football to. Like, Hawkinson was a non-factor tonight. Like, there are guys that need to be more featured in this offense. And when you got a young quarterback, everybody suffers. Everybody suffers. You know, Justin Jefferson's not getting enough targets. Thielen, I thought, could have had more opportunities. Clearly, TJ Hawkinson was not in, the game plan, it felt like, because he didn't feel like a guy that got targeted nearly enough tonight. So there's a lot that can be done to improve the performance that we saw tonight. But it starts up front for the Vikings. Getting Christian Darrisaw back will help a ton. But they had a couple of injuries tonight, and they're going to need to be better up front so that the rookie or second-year player, J.J. McCarthy, has an opportunity to deal back there. Right now, he doesn't. He doesn't. So that was a tough one. Bitter pill to swallow if you are a Minnesota Vikings fan. as you do not score a touchdown tonight. You do not eclipse 200 yards of total offense tonight. You struggled protecting the quarterback. You gave up 6 sacks in the game. You gave up 4 turnovers. It was a rough go of it, to say the least. But the beauty of it is it only counts as one game, right? Only counts as one game. So, Falcons, 1 of 5 in the red zone tonight. That's a losing formula if I've ever seen it. You got away with one tonight because the Vikings only made 1 trip into the red zone and they came out empty-handed. That's why you were able to survive and ultimately thrive tonight, is because the Vikings simply had nothing for you. Playing against a better opponent and you go 1 of 5 in the red zone, probably going to lose the game. Probably going to lose the game. So let's get to our next segment, the skill game, brought to you by Sleeper. We'll knock that down. Look at some bets that I made. See how the kid fared. Come back on the other side, get to the comment section, and then we'll bounce. Let's get to the skill game, brought to you by Sleeper.
The skill game, brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. So let me reconnect my device. As I have lost connection. Shouldn't be too hard to reconnect. I don't know why we lost connection, but we can clean it up. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to rectify itself, I do want to talk about Sleeper real quick, man. I've talked to you guys about Sleeper so many times. Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that brings people together through sports and gaming. Sleeper has become one of the fastest organically growing platforms in the world, with over 6 million, active users back in 2023. That number has probably grown significantly because of people like myself who are now actively using this app and absolutely love what it has brought to my football watching or just sports watching experience. So shout out to them for creating this wonderful app and giving people like myself an opportunity to enrich something that's already so much fun for me every single time I watch football. So still trying to get, tell you what I'll do. I'm going to fast track this for us. Let me close this out. And then let me open it back up. And then let me try it again. That probably will do it. Probably should have did that before. So I made some bets over the weekend, and I did not win any of them. Really disappointed, too, in how some of it went down, because I feel like you know what I can say? I'm actually learning how this works, like how I should make bets, what I should bet on, or you know, what picks I should or shouldn't make is how I should phrase that. I'm feeling a lot more confident now. I've only used the less feature twice on bets, right? I've only done that twice. In both instances where I've picked less on a pick, I have lost. And I remember Rio saying to me, I don't like doing less than a touchdown, for instance, because all it takes is one play, i.e., Romeo Dubs. We took him for less than a touchdown. Of course, he would catch a touchdown pass. Now, wouldn't he on Thursday night, right? So just like that, your whole entire, slate of picks is dead. Just like that. Dead, I tell you. So it was the same thing tonight. I took JJ McCarthy. I thought he would take care of the football tonight. Boy, was I wrong. I did not think Atlanta's defense would be as disruptive as it was tonight. And it was definitely not what I expected it to be. So unfortunately, that didn't go down the way that I thought it would. And we having some serious technical difficulties with this. I'm gonna try that one more time. If I can't get it, then we'll just rock out and keep it pushing. Not a big deal. I don't know why. It was working just fine, and then as soon as I go to pull it up, now all of a sudden we got issues. So let me do that. I'm gonna let it tell me that it can't find it. While I'm waiting, your man's, if you're in the LTN exclusives, winners and losers, and survivor pool, etc., boy, I might be sipping from the piss cup this week. I went for it in week 2, and it's still early. Like, you don't know what you don't know yet, but I went for it. I absolutely went for it. And I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, either your boy is going to cash out or he's going to crash out. One of the two is going to happen. Well, I am currently in a tremendous crash right now, and it is not good for the kid. I could lose 10 games this week. It's that bad, right? It's that bad. So I am hoping that these Monday night games go well, because if they don't, I'm probably going to have the piss cup, and I'm okay with that, because what I'm not going to do is play scared this year. I'm not going to play scared. If I have a hunch, I'm going to act on it. And if it doesn't it doesn't go my way, it doesn't go my way. But in years past, what I find myself doing is having regrets because I didn't do something, and the thing that I said I should have done happens, and then I'm pissed off at myself. I'd rather just do it, and if it doesn't work out, then it is what it is. But everything that could go wrong did go wrong today, except Dallas losing, which almost did happen, and I almost was eliminated from the survivor pool. So there was a lot of craziness that transpired today. Okay, it's not working. So I don't know why it decided not to work, but it's not working. So it's not a big deal. I can just tell you what my picks were. And I'll just change it to this overlay, and we'll just go here with it. So my picks tonight were at a $15. I had 5 picks. I wagered $15, and it could have net me $225, right? And I had Bejon for an anytime touchdown. Clearly, that didn't happen, and I thought it would. Anytime the Falcons play, I just always feel like Bejon anytime touchdown is the right thing to do. If you're gonna make picks in a game that the Falcons are playing, it feels like Bejon is the right pick. So I did that. He didn't score a touchdown tonight. I had JJ McCarthy. The number was set at a half of interception. I had him less than that interception because I didn't think he was going to throw any interceptions tonight. I was wrong. He did throw an interception tonight. He threw 2 of them. I had Justin Jefferson for a receiving touchdown because I said if the Vikings are going to get in the end zone, it's probably going to be JJ. JJ to JJ. They didn't get in the end zone tonight. That didn't happen. I had Will Ricard for the number was set at 1.5 field goals made. I took the over, or I bet more, right? He hit 2 field goals. I thought he would. And then Adam Thielen, I had 17.5 yards for Adam Thielen, and he had 26 yards receiving. So I hit that one. No problem. So of the 5 picks, only 2 actually worked out for me tonight. So yeah, that was a little rough, but I will be back And I'm starting to really figure out like what you can and can't do. What are the smart decisions to make? This is really my first foray into this kind of space, if you will. So no worries. I will be better. I'll be back. So with that said, let's get to the comment section. Big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. So, see what you guys are talking about. And see me get my handy dandy pen here to assist me going through these comments. See what you guys are talking about. All right. Shadow Striker 789. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Dallas was the last leg of an 8-leg $50 parlay that hit for $1,100. Wow. I was tweaking the F out on that last Giants touchdown. I thought I was dead. The only thing that kept me alive in my mind was like, they got Brandon Aubrey. And they don't have to get very close in order for him to keep this game alive. So I thought I'd lost the survivor. I was like, a bad week is getting worse because Commanders lost on Thursday. All of my picks were going down the drain. Like the 49ers won the game against the Saints, and the Dolphins blew it against the Patriots, and the Jets, which was my upset pick of the week, never had a chance. Right. So I'm just losing games left and right. And I'm just sitting there, and Joe Burrow's out, so I'm thinking I'm going to lose that game. And I'm just watching my picks just one by one tank. And I'm like, this is terrible. And I'm watching the Steelers guy, rookie, just let the ball sit in the end zone. I'm like, you idiot. And so, yeah, it just everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And then, I was talking to Boss. Y'all know Boss is a Cowboys fan. And I'm talking to Boss when I'm getting his picks for the week. And I asked him who his survivor pick was so I could put it in and, upload it so everybody could, see the master sheet. And he was like, I'm taking us this week. I'm like, me too. And it was funny because I was like, if y'all can't beat the Giants, y'all are in for a long season. And he said, yep, that's right. So in my mind, I'm like, Dak doesn't lose to the Giants. He's won 13 straight against them. The Cowboys actually look like a competent NFL outfit. It seems like an eternity ago because they played on the opening night of the season on Thursday. So we hadn't seen them in quite some time. But, when we did see them, if CeeDee Lamb could catch, they would have won that game more likely than not. And so you're thinking the Giants were awful last week. Cowboys look like a competent NFL outfit. They're going to destroy these boys. And it didn't go that way at all. And you could see the Giants gaining more and more confidence as the possessions kept going and they kept moving the football and Dallas kept doing nothing. And it got to a point where you're like, I could really lose this game. I never thought I was going to lose the game. But I was like, I could lose this game. And then when Wan'Dale Robinson caught that touchdown, Malik Neighbors caught that touchdown, I was like, oh my God, I'm really gonna lose this game. This is crazy. And then Aubrey, what it must feel like to have confidence in your kicker to where you don't even try to get more yards. You just like, yeah, we're good with a 64-yard field goal. No worries. Yeah, he'll hit that. Easy. Like, that shit was insane the way they set that thing up. They didn't even try to get closer. They had enough time to run, another play, get closer, and they didn't even give a shit. Now, you're good right here. We're good. This 64-yarder, he'll knock this in. That's wild, bro. That's absolutely absurdity. But that when you have that kind of confidence in your kicker, you can get away with that. He says, get Sleeper to sponsor me. I got you with picks. Hey, if you hitting them like that, man, 8-leg, $50, $1,100. Maybe I do need to get you up here to make these picks, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations, my guy. Cheers to you. And that 11 hundo piece. Sean Blake, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Sean writes, did you see Josh Simmons track down that interception? Whoa. I liked him more than Connolly. Did we draft the wrong tackle? Simmons has been impressive. I think we drafted the wrong tackle. The question is, did we – because he went after Connolly, correct? See, the big problem with Simmons was he was hurt. He was damaged goods when the draft process was going on. So you didn't get to work him out and all that stuff. He was coming off of an injury. I thought he's the best tackle in the draft this year. Josh Simmons, I'm speaking of. I thought he's the best tackle in the draft. So, yes, I do think of the two, we got the worst of the two, yes. I think we got the wrong one. But that's no here nor there. We got Josh Connolly now. Let's just, continue to see this kid grow and hopefully turn into a solid right tackle. Josh Simmons, to me, has the ability to be a Pro Bowl left tackle. I don't see a Pro Bowl in Josh Connolly's future. I just want him to be a good, like I said, if he's Morgan Moses, we won. That's, to me, best case scenario for him. I can't see him being a Pro Bowl right tackle. What I've seen from him doesn't scream, oh, we got a Pro Bowl tackle. Josh Simmons looks like he could be a Pro Bowl tackle. And yes, I did see that catching Andrew Makuba essentially and stopping him from running that thing back for a pick six. It was super impressive. Indeed it was. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, JP, right? Came back from the dead in my fantasy matchup last week because of Jay Jettas and Aaron Jones and won. Tonight, bleh. Yeah, if you were relying on them tonight, you, my friend, are probably going to lose. Probably going to lose. My guess is you probably got one or two guys, being that there's 2 games tomorrow night, that can still help you out. Good luck with that. But that combination of Jettas and Aaron Jones wouldn't get you a damn thing tonight. Brandon McCloskey, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, how bad are the Bears? Made McCarthy look good last week and had a 50-burger dropped on them today. Are you concerned about Caleb Williams? I've already said, first of all, Caleb didn't play poorly this week. They just got their asses whooped. Now, Caleb did throw an interception. And they were overmatched tonight or today. But I've already told you, I think Caleb could be the worst of those 6 first-round picks. Now, again, small sample size for Michael Penix, small sample size for J.J. McCarthy. So you still have to wait and see on those. Bo Nix is going to be good. Jaden Daniels, already good. Drake May, going to be good. All right. So now the jury, is still in deliberation on the 2 youngsters that are just getting their feet wet in Penix Jr. and J.J. McCarthy. But Caleb Williams still taking sacks. Now, again, he'll make some, eye-popping plays where he'll escape pressure, turn what would have been a 12-yard sack into a 20-yard run, and you're like, shit, that was pretty impressive. Or he'll make some kind of crazy off-platform throw where you go, that's why he went number 1 overall. But for every one of those, there's a sack, there's a bad decision. He doesn't really turn it over a ton, but he did throw an interception today. But he didn't throw a bunch of interceptions last year. And he usually takes care of the football. But there's still the misses where you're like, bro, you can't miss that throw. But ultimately, he didn't play poorly today. They just were overmatched. That's what it boiled down to. They were overmatched. The Bears might not be very good this season. We'll see. And again, they're talented, but they got to work some shit out. And I've said this already. Ben Johnson left Detroit to go to Chicago because he felt like there was a transition there that would be seamless. He would be able to go there and win right away. That's not happening. And he doesn't strike me as a very patient man. I know you saw the press conference today. Very agitated. Very agitated. Was agitated last week after the loss. It does not get any easier for them this upcoming week. I forget who they're playing. I don't remember who they're playing, but I think they're playing somebody good. So they could easily be 0-3. So yeah. I'm not concerned about Caleb Williams, but I've already told you how I feel about him. Like mentally is what I worry about with him. I don't worry about the physical gifts. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Duncan writes, we showed you how it's done. First lessons free. You guys got it done, man. Again, I felt like you really lucked up today because, and no excuses. Like, y'all got it done. The Chiefs couldn't be more in a vulnerable state than where they are right now. No Rashid Rice, no Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown got banged up a little bit today. He finished the game, but I mean, he's throwing the ball to Tyquan Thornton, man. Like, it is what it is. But in saying that, if Kelsey catches that football, I think you probably lose the game today. So, I mean, y'all made plays when they had to be made. That's what champions do, right? You find a way to win. But, boy, would I kill for my quarterback to barely have 100 yards passing, not do shit on offense really the entire game and still win because the defense plays lights out, forces a timely turnover, and holds the opponent to less than 20 points. I would love to have my team around my quarterback be able to pretty much win the game for my quarterback. That's what they did today. I know y'all heard the exchange between Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts at the end of the game. We said, man, shut up. You ain't even had 100 yards passing. And he told him, shut the fuck up. We won the game. Show your ass up. I love it. I love it. That's how people view Jalen around the league, though. Like, you ain't shit. Your team is the reason why you win. You ain't shit. They won. That's all that matters. They won. I can tell you this. Not afraid. Whether that means anything or not, doesn't matter. Not afraid. Don't think they're, again, we already established they're not as good as they were last year. And I don't know. And again, as the season goes along, they can get better. The offensive coordinator gets more comfortable. Right now, they're not good on offense. Their defense is what's winning them games right now. They're not good on offense right now. And I don't think their defense is great either, by the way. So there's that. But they're 2-0. And their schedule is tough throughout. So it's not like, well, they just get through this stretch that's tough early, then they can relax. No, their shit's tough all the way through. But as we've seen with them, they can get hot. And we'll look up and they're 9-1, 8-2, 10-0 even. So they just find ways to win. Blackout B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, what it do, Lou? What's going on, Blackout B? I'm calling the Limu Emu because some Atlanta goons dented the Ferrari up, the F up. LOL. No panic button. The injury reaper is out in full effect, though. Is he? Isn't he, though? Shit, I can relate. He ain't pulling no punches, and he don't give a damn. Yeah, they dented your shit all up tonight, bro. You thought you was gonna go downtown, let your shit bump a little bit, show off. Your shit got nice and glossy and clean. You thought you was gonna drive around the city for a little bit, pop out on them and let them see how you living. And the Falcons won't try to hear that shit at all, bro. They won't try and hear that shit at all. It's week 2, bro. People love to overreact. That's what fans do. That's what the media does. It's week 2. No need to panic. It just, I can tell you this. I've always said this. It only is amplified by the fact that you did it in a primetime setting, right? Had this same exact game taken place at 1 o'clock today, nobody would be talking about it except for Vikings fans. That's it. But because it happened on a primetime stage, you've got to deal with it on a much larger, scale because everybody watched. The same thing happened to my team on Thursday, right? Everybody watched because of that. Yeah, you stink. This, that. Oh, the league has figured out Jaden Daniels. You got to deal with all of that bullshit, right? That's what comes with the territory when you play on prime time and you don't play well. So you're fine. It's early. No need to hit the panic button, like you said. But there are some things that you guys have to clean up. And the offensive line, it starts with your offensive line. Health is going to be key for you there. And then McCarthy's got to be able to start seeing it, dealing it, et cetera, et cetera. So no need to panic, like you said. You should be fine. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. All right. Never in my wildest dreams did I foresee the Chiefs starting 0-2. Dolphins losing to the Pats at home. Gross. Starting to wonder if they'll be sellers. Yeah, no, they're going to suck this year. And although that was a very entertaining game, you can't run a punt back for a touchdown and on the ensuing kickoff, give up a kickoff return for a touchdown to Antonio Gibson. Good for Gibby, by the way. They stink. They absolutely are a funk fest over there in South Beach. Yeah, they're going to be selling off parts here shortly because they're not going to be good this year. And yes, so it was too early, which is why I picked them, right? Because you can't have a players only meeting in week 2. Shit's gone off the rails if you're having a players only meeting in week 2. They had a players only meeting going into their second game of the season. How bad does shit have to actually go for you to have a players only meeting going into your second game of the season? Jeez Louise. So I said, okay, they're going to beat the Patriots just off the strength of them feeling the need to come together as a group, and they still couldn't get it done against Drake May and company. That tells me you've hit a new low. It's only down from here. You suck ass. So yeah, McDaniel's probably going to get fired. I hate it for him, but that's how it's got to be. Brandon Cox, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Brandon writes, Louie T. What's up, Brandon? What up, brother? Chilling, bro. Nothing. Just chilling. What's good with you, Brandon? The games today proved to me this fact. We need a field goal kicker that can nail 50-plus yard field goals in this league. I tweeted this out during the game. I said, I'll read you the tweet, as a matter of fact. I'll read you the tweet. I tweeted this out during the game. AP's one weakness so far, the inability to find a decent kicker. Watching the serial kicker, John Parker Romo, hit kicks tonight, coupled with what I've seen other kickers around the league today, makes me upset. And then I continued with another tweet that said, I become sicker with every 50-yarder because after I tweeted this out, the serial kicker then made a 54-yard kick with ease, I may add. It's very frustrating to watch our situation, watch other teams, and realize there's a fine line in this league. We know this. This is not new news, right? It's a fine line in this league between winning and losing. It's a very small margin of error, and momentum is so key in this league. A missed field goal can turn a game on its head. You give up big field position, and then all of a sudden the game's never the same. That's exactly what happened on Monday night with the Bears and the Vikings. The Bears missed a field goal. The Vikings took advantage, and they never looked back in that fourth quarter. We couldn't make field goals on Thursday night, and it hurt us in that game from a momentum standpoint. Watching teams and knowing that we went against the Patriots, we knew they weren't going to keep John Parker Romo. They had drafted Andres Borgales, so they weren't going to keep John Parker Romo. And I get it. We had already signed Matt Gay. We made our bed. We had to lie in it. So it just sucks because he was there. He was out there. And we pissed away an opportunity because we had already dedicated ourselves to this bum, Matt Gay, that we let an actual quality kicker who's kicking well right now. And I can't say he's an actual quality kicker, but he's kicking well right now. We let him go to another team, Because they're gonna cut Younghoe Koo here shortly. Like after what he did tonight, Younghoe Koo, hey, we Younghoe Goo. You can carry your ass now. And my wife asked me, "You want Younghoe Koo?" I said, "Hell no. I don't want somebody else's damaged goods. We got enough of that shit already with Matt Gay. I don't need nobody else damaged goods." Yeah, shit sucks watching everybody. I watched the Eagles kicker Jake Elliott, who couldn't make a 50-yard kick to save his life last year. And I knew that wasn't really him. He just had a rough year last year. 58. Like it was nothing. Chiefs kicker, we know Harrison Butker is like that. 56-yarder. Like we know what Brandon Aubrey is. I'm just watching all these kickers and I'm like, man, oh man. My mind is playing tricks on me. And my mind started playing tricks on me like, bro, what if? What if? I can't play that game. We got a kicker. You just got to hope he start making some kicks. But it don't feel like it. It don't feel like he's going to turn it around. It don't feel like it. He says, Matt Gay is and should be on the chopping block ASAP. I don't disagree with you. Looking forward to Vegas. Stay smooth. Likewise, Brandon, man. We're going to watch them tomorrow night, see what they're talking about. I don't know if y'all was paying attention to the Falcons game tonight, but we got some shit we're going to have to clean up before we get to them. But they lost their corner tonight to a hamstring. That's their best corner. If he can't go against us, that should help a lot. But I can't look to Atlanta in 2 weeks. We got to find a way to beat Vegas. And that's a much improved Vegas team that we're going to play. I'm nervous. I ain't even going to hold you. But I expect us to be a lot better than we were Thursday night. That's for sure. John Perez, my guy JP writes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I feel so bad for my guy Burrow. Didn't want to say this, but it's time for him to force a trade out of Cincinnati. He's not going to do that, bro. He's not going to do that. I feel for him too, but only to a degree. They don't protect him at all, but he's got everything he wants. He wanted T. Higgins. He wanted to make sure Jamar got signed. Like, he's royalty there. He's not going anywhere. Glizzy McGuire. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, do we have another WJ3 Norman situation? Nah, because those two guys were brought in as like supposed to be in the prime of their careers type guys, right? Norman was at the end of his first contract with Carolina, wanted to get paid. And they franchise tagged him and they couldn't get a deal done, so they just released him. So he was going into the prime of his career. Same could be said for William Jackson III, right? After his rookie contract, we signed him to a deal here in Washington. That's not where Marshawn Latimore is. He's at the twilight of his career. Now, I will say, I'm watching veteran in Jalen Ramsey make some plays, but he also got cooked today too. So it go both ways. Like once you old at the cornerback position. This man's about to be 30 years old. Like, I'm not tripping about it. He's essentially on a one-year deal. If it doesn't work, we move on. Those guys were signed to long-term deals here in Washington. Norman was signed to a long-term deal. William Jackson III was signed to a long-term deal here. That's not what we're locked into with Marshawn Latimore. And again, I don't think he's as bad as y'all are making it out to be. Like, I think you guys are overblowing. You watched the Giants game today, right? Giants and Cowboys. You watched the game, right? Does that not make you feel better about what you saw from him in week one? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Anyway. One guy talking sports. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Juan writes, Young Ho, you are a commander AP. Go get him. Nah, I'm good. I'm good, bro. I don't want no parts of Younghoe Koo, bro. I'm good. I'd rather stick it out with Matt Gay and go do that shit. Another kicker that's in his head that can't make a kick from shit. He missing kicks from, 40 yards. I'm good. I'm good on Younghoe Koo. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Come on. Why you keep disrespecting my QB? It's him. I'm not disrespecting your QB. I'm keeping it a buck. Your QB threw for 100 yards today, bro. In an NFL game on a Super Bowl team, your quarterback threw for 100 yards. Yeah, the Chiefs are really good on defense. 100 yards is crazy. So, it is. It really is. Like, both teams' quarterbacks struggled today, but 100 yards is crazy. It's not like Saquon was out there killing it today. But you won. That's the most important part. It's the most important part. Ash, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ash, right. What happens in overtime if the first team scores a touchdown and the second team scores a touchdown? What happens with the PAT and the 2-point conversions? Like, can the second team win a game on a 2-point conversion if the first team kicks a PAT? Just curious whenever that happens in the game. Yes. So if both, so the new rules state that each team gets a possession no matter what. So if you score a touchdown, it used to be if you score a touchdown, opening possession, game's over. The only way the other team would possess the ball is if they force a punt, a turnover, or a field goal. Now, it doesn't matter what that first possession team does. You score a touchdown, the other team is going to get the football at least once. If that team then scores a touchdown as well, now it becomes true sudden death. The next score wins the game, no matter what happens, right? So they're essentially saying, because everybody that's why I said this shit is stupid, because everybody screams about making shit fair. It's not about fair. Get a stop. To me, it was perfect the way it was. If you can't stop the team from scoring a touchdown, you don't deserve to win. So all it does is it's prolonging the game, 2 more possessions, and then by the time, because I hate this too. Overtime is only 10 minutes. So if one team scores and another team scores, it ain't gonna be that much damn time left after that. It ain't gonna be that much time left. So you can't go for 2. Like, if the first team score a touchdown, kick an extra point, and the second team score a touchdown, they go for 2 and they make it, they win the game. Clearly, they got more points they won, right? But it's just dumb to me, personally. It's dumb to me because all you're doing is prolonging. You talk about player safety, this, that. It's bullshit if you talk about player safety, because you prolonging overtime is not in the best interest of players if truly player safety is what you're interested in upholding. But the league just be saying shit to fit whatever narrative they want to push. And so now they want fairness. Oh, my team didn't get the ball in overtime. Oh, my quarterback didn't get to touch the ball. This is not fair. What a bunch of losers. So yeah. You got it. You got it all figured out, Ash. You go for 2 in overtime if you so choose. Obviously, it could backfire. If you don't get it, you lose. But if both teams score a touchdown, both teams elect to kick extra points, then it becomes sudden death. So the next person to possess the football, if they score, they win the game. Field goal, touchdown, whatever. They win. So Shadow Striker, 789. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, want some magic, Lou? Gino, plus 230. Chargers money line. Herbert 2 touchdown passes. Bowers all over 60 yards receiving. Genty rushed 60 yards under. I think that's probably legit. Got you, twin. Yeah. These look pretty good. Only thing about Bowers is he's coming off the injury. You don't really know what you're going to get. He could start the game and then not finish it. So the good thing about Sleeper is they void that pick if that player gets injured. Like, I had Burrow on one of my tickets, and Burrow obviously got hurt. So they voided that one, but the rest of the picks stay intact. So I like that about Sleeper as well. Juan Gotti, talking sports. Double up. Even double it up. Who writes? Bejon moves like it's Madden, so video gamey, bro. That 1 6-yard run to set up that 4th and short. What are we talking about, man? Like, Bejon is stupid, bro. Bejon is dumb. He jump cut like 4 times on that play. Then he had another run and they running their mouth so much that they didn't even realize he cut back on the dude. They had just played the Saquon Barkley clip of him talking about his cutbacks and how sharp they are. And he cuts violently, right? And the next play, he gets out to the second level, cuts back on Murphy, and that man dives and doesn't hit nothing. He don't touch nothing but air, bro. Bejon stupid, bro. Bejon dumb. It is just ridiculous watching him work. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, Lou, we getting a Raiders post-game pod tomorrow. What do you mean? It's a primetime game, of course. You're going to hear me after that game. Marquel Randall. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, Eagles kicker 58 plus. Cowboys kicker 58 plus. We got Matt Gay shaking my head. 1 p.m. game slot was fire. Favorite part of the day was definitely Chris Jones talking at the kneel down. That shit was wild. But so much of that goes on the NFL field, but we just don't hear it. But that was pretty cool that the mics caught that. That was pretty dope. But today, for us to not play today and be off, it was a dope day of football. The Colts Broncos game was wild. The Cardinals Panthers game was wild. The Bengals Jags game, wild. The Cowboys Giants game takes the cake. It was ridiculous, right? The Steelers game was good, even though it didn't have like suspense down the stretch, but it was a good game throughout. You just got away from them late. The 49ers game was solid. Like it was a good day of football. It's a really good day of football. So I appreciated everybody doing their part to make sure that I enjoyed my viewing experience today, being that it was, no Commanders. Vincent Cole, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Vincent Cole writes, Lou, Vince. Not gonna lie, I was expecting JSN to be wide receiver 1, carrying like that when we drafted him. He's legit. I didn't expect him to be like wide receiver 1 either. I thought he would be like a dominant 2 in this league. He's like that though. That's why you traded DK, because you're like, we got one. We got one. We good. That's why you moved on from Tyler Lockett, because you're like, yo, I'm good. I'm good. And then you drafted the young fella this year, Horton, excuse me. He looks like he could be pretty good too. Like, we'll see. He said, also, what's with these big bubble looking helmets? You talking about the Guardian caps. My son asked me about those every time. I've explained Guardian caps to my son at least 7 times. Because some of these helmets are outrageous. Like Romeo Doubs in Green Bay and Savion Williams. Savion Williams got to have the biggest helmet in the league, bro, with that Guardian cap on. These shits are out of control. These damn Guardian caps are. But I get it. But yeah, some of these joints, they are outrageous, bro. Out of pocket. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Thoughts on the no-call false starts on the tush. This is what I'm talking about. This was one of my biggest arguments in the spring when they were discussing whether they needed to get rid of it. I said, look, I personally think it should be eradicated. I hate the tush push, but I'm not one of these people that's out here like dying on the hill. They got to get rid of it. Like, okay, it's a part of the game, whatever. I don't give a shit, personally. Just you have to officiate it better, bro. That's the problem I have with it. Like, look, I don't care if the Eagles have a cheat code. Just make sure you enforce the rule to the letter. Like, they can't be moving before. Like, they had both guards moving, full head start before they snapped the ball. Nobody else was even moving yet. That play is so dangerous. And all kinds of shit is happening. Did you see on the last one? The dude for the Chiefs dove and hit the ball out of the center's hand. I don't even know how Jalen Hurts. He scooped that bitch up like a damn shortstop and still got the dang on first down. I don't know how he did that. Because the dude dove under and slapped that bitch out of the center's hand. Like all kinds of chaos and mayhem happens. That's illegal. Like shit that shouldn't be going down. And they don't never throw no flag. Like if I'm a coach, if I'm Andy Reid, I'm playing against, I'm going over to the official. I'm like, yo, watch these dudes for false start, bro. Watch these, like, have your head down the line and watch these mofos. If they move before, you throw that goddamn flag. This shit is unbelievable. And if you can't properly police this play, if you can't properly make sure that this play is being executed fairly, then you need to get rid of this shit. For that reason. That's the reason. Not safety, not because it looks like a rugby scrum, all the shit that we don't like. Aesthetically, it's a bad play. You get rid of it because you can't properly enforce the rules on this play like you can every other play that takes place in an NFL game. And if you can't do that, then you need to get rid of this shit. You can't have them getting a head start every time they do this shit. They know the snap count, and yet they still moving early because they know when Hurts about to snap the ball. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. So, yeah, they got to figure that out. I don't think there's anything you can do in season. Only thing that you can do is force them to start. Like, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm sending that play in. I'm saying, bro, what y'all going to do about this? You got to make the league aware of this and make them buckle. Like, Roger wanted this shit gone. You already know Roger can't stand this shit. He was trying to get this shit eradicated this past spring. So I'm sending in clips from this game. If I'm the Chiefs, I know they can't do shit about it now, but hey, this is what they doing, bro. Y'all see this shit? This ain't fair. And you have the officials start clocking them on that. Throw the flag. Even if their ass ain't false start, throw that bitch anyway. That'll make them more cognizant to not try to get a head start. You know what a difference it would have been? It was 4th and goal. And if they would have threw the flag and they had to back up, they had to settle for a field goal. Instead of it being 20-10, it would have been 16-10. Huge difference. Huge difference. All they got to do is throw the flag a couple of times, and it'll change the way that they do that shit. But you got to throw it at the right time. Can't be on, 3rd and 1 when you throw the flag. So they get another chance on a 3rd and 6. It's got to be on a 4th and goal or a 4th and 1 when they're going for the shit, and now they got to punt or now they got to settle for a field goal. That'll tighten their ass up quick because that's some bullshit. It really is. Really some bullshit. Straight up. Mr. Cole, been a member for 47 months. Salute. Day one, got to flex that 47-month. Shout out my guy, Lou. Really appreciate you, bro. Almost at your 4-year Annie, man. Really, truly do appreciate you, Vincent Cole. Abel Ambrosio, my guy, Double A, been a member for 34 months. Crazy how Daniel Jones is 2-0 and the Giants are 0-2, and Daniel Jones is playing football. Daniel Jones is playing football. Like, really playing football. I knew he had a chance to play well. I'm telling y'all, Shane Steichen is really good. He's really good. Like, that was the best coordinator the Eagles had with Shane Steichen. Like, if he was there still in Philadelphia, the Eagles would be unstoppable. With the weapons that they have, they'd be unstoppable. But I knew Steichen could make something out of Daniel Jones because he's similar to Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones. And I'm not saying that they're the same player because it's not the same up here. But from a talent perspective, similar arm, similar athletic profile. And I think he is now in a system, and he's got talent around him that is conducive to his skill set. And he's playing well. He's playing with confidence, and he's playing well. Really well. They should have lost today, though. That was some bullshit. But he's playing well, man. Good for him. Good for him. Anyway, I digress. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Sunday Night Football Overtime. Falcons get it done impressively, 22-6 over the Vikings. Do not surrender a single touchdown. Really dominated this game from start to finish. The problem was they were 1 of 5 in the red zone, which kept this game within arm's reach for the Vikings. If they could clean that up, this would have been a blowout going away. But instead, they were able to do what they needed to do. They forced, 4 turnovers in this game. They sacked J.J. McCarthy 6 times. They dominated this football game, did the Atlanta Falcons on the defensive side, special teams as well. Their kicker, the serial kicker, John Parker Romo, brought up from the practice squad today. And Younghoe Koo with a healthy scratch goes out 5 of 5, including a 54-yard field goal make in the game. He was outstanding. And so I think they might have found themselves a new kicker. Bejon Robinson was spectacular, over 140 yards rushing, I believe, for him on the night, over 200 yards rushing as a team for the Atlanta Falcons tonight. They allowed their young quarterback, only making his 5th start, Michael Penix Jr., to just manage the game. Don't do anything crazy. They're going to ask you to do too much. We're going to run the football, play excellent defense, quality special teams, and you just make timely throws when necessary. He did that. They won this game 22-6. For the Vikings, I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think you're going to see a lot of peaks and valleys with this team. One week, I wouldn't be shocked if they had to click on all cylinders and they ring up 34 points, and you're like, oh shit, look out for the Vikings. And then you're going to have weeks like this, where McCarthy's getting sacked, he's under siege, the run game isn't, really a crutch you can lean on. The defense is solid, but, it's not great. This is who the Vikings may be this season, up and down. 7 out of the 8 quarters of J.J. McCarthy have been absolutely horrid to start the season off. They haven't done jack diddly poo squat. In 7 quarters, they've managed to score, 15 points? 6 tonight in 4 quarters. And in the first 3 against the Bears, was it 9, right? They had 9 points, correct? So, or was it 6? Was it 17-6? And then they scored 21 unanswered, right? Something like that. So it might be 12 points total in 7 quarters. And then the 1 quarter, they had the 21-point outburst. Whatever that number looks like, they got to improve upon it. But they fall tonight in their home opener. Dropped to 1-1 in the season. Both teams leave this game at 1-1. And we'll see, what this does for Atlanta. We'll see what this does for Minnesota. Some injuries for both teams leaving this game. Falcons lose corner A.J. Terrell for we don't know how long. We don't know the severity of his hamstring injury, but he did not return to this game. Meanwhile, the Vikings lost a couple of offensive linemen, their center, and also School, the backup left tackle, who wasn't great to begin with, but now you're down to your 3rd string tackle. So they got to figure some things out until Christian Darrisaw can come back and solidify that left side. But, and Aaron Jones got hurt too. I want to forget about him. He left this game with a hamstring and did not return. So some concerns from an injury standpoint. We'll see, where everyone is after you lick your wounds. You come back, you see what's what as you head into next week. But big win for the Falcons. Could easily have been 2-0 on the season if Younghoe Koo, didn't screw the pooch last week. But you bounce back this way, weak in a major way, run game dominant, defense dominant, and you get it done. So, anyway, I digress. The Black LB, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. All right. Lou, you got me down over here when talking about Miami. They've hit a new low. It's only down from here. You suck ass. It was bad, bro. Like, they had no business losing today. I really didn't see that coming. I had talked to Boston. He was like, I'm going with New England. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's a loss for you, bro, because the Dolphins bouncing back. Like, if they can't beat New England, it's the same shit I said about Dallas with the Giants. If you can't beat New England at the crib, it's over for you, bro. It's done. It's a wrap. If you can't beat the Patriots at the Crizzo, it's only down from here, bro. It's over. If you're Dallas and you can't beat the Giants at the crib, it's over for you. You're done. They gave up 450. 450 to Russell Wilson today. They had Russ out here looking like 2013 vintage Russ. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're happy you won, but you should. I equate it to Friday after next, where Damon's mom rolls up on Craig and Day and said, "If you don't have my money, tonight," she said, "If you don't have my money, someone's salad getting tossed tonight." And he said, "You like this?" He said, "You like the fact that your son's the fag? And you like the fact that y'all gave up 450 to Russ? Like, you happy about that? Yeah, you won. You suck on defense. You had the Giants offense looking like Eli Manning was at quarterback and Plaxico Burress and Amani Toomer and, Steve Smith and all these dudes were still on the field, bro. You okay with that? You had Wan'Dale Robinson looking like prime Julian Edelman or some shit. You couldn't cover him. I mean, this shit was crazy. We know what Malik Neighbors is all about. But, bro, that shit was wild. Shit was crazy. So that's how I felt about Miami. Like, if you can't beat New England, and they didn't beat New England, so you see what it is. Ash, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. All right. Are you doing tomorrow's games together? And why 2 games on Monday now? I'm a Texans fan. We need a win. Offense needs to wake up. And an LA game is late, starts at 10 p.m. So, yeah, I'm going to do both games together because I've tried to do them separate in the past. And what ends up happening is nobody watches the first stream because there's a game on. So, in the past, I would jump on, do a stream after the first game went off, and I'd have like 40 people in there, and it wasn't worth it. So I just wait until the second game go off. And I know a lot of people going to bed because it's like you said, it's late. It's 2 games. It's late. But they're going to overlap. Like that first game is going to be on. The second game is going to start while the first game is still, on. And that first game might be late stages of the third, early fourth when the second game starts. But they're still going to be on, overlapping one another. So it just makes more sense just to let that whole game go and then do the show afterwards. So if you're not able to watch it live, that's cool. You can watch it on playback. And I know a lot of people are not going to be able to watch it live because it's going to be like literally, it's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30. Like when we get that, it's probably like 1:15 when we start that show that night. It's not that different than when Cowboys and Eagles had the delay, right? We start late. We start like 12:45 that night or something like that. So it's gonna be in that neighborhood. And you do need to get your offense together. I mean, shit, I scored 9 points last week or some shit like that. So yeah, see if you can get it together. That Bucks, that's a good football team y'all playing in Tampa Bay. That's a good football team. So you better bring your A game if you're trying to get off the schneid because you could easily be 0-2 if y'all don't take care of business. Ethan Dyke, my guy. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Right. Would love to see Cowboys deal with Gay, not Aubrey. They blessed, man. Like they push. I gotta give the Cowboys credit. Like I always said, Jerry can identify talent. That's never been an issue. Sometimes they do the smartest guy in the room shit where they, try to go get a dude from South Saginaw Valley State in the 3rd round when ain't nobody else even got this dude on their board to the 6th round. They do shit like that, right? But they feel like they always hit on their 1st round picks, especially the ones early in the draft. They can identify guys that can play. And then they've done a really good job of identifying talent in the USFL or the UFL or whatever. Like they found Brandon Aubrey over there, and they found Devontae Turpin over there. So they've done a really good job of scouting guys and bringing them into their organization. And man, they hit it with Aubrey. Man, they hit a absolute grand slam with Aubrey, and it looks so easy. I've never seen a kicker kick the ball so effortless and have it go so far. Like when Tucker would hit it from 63, it looked like he put everything he had into that shit. He just swings his leg, bro. He just whoop, and the ball just explode off his leg. And it's just this easy, smooth swing. Like don't nobody else look like that. Every time somebody kicking it from 60, they look like they're kicking the shit. Aubrey looked like 64-yard field goal for him looked like the shit's from 38 yards. Dude, he's an alien, bro. He's an alien. He's a cheat code. I hate it. Because they once they're at midfield, they're in field goal range. I hate this shit. I said that last year, though. I hate it. They got cheat code. A legitimate cheat code. Ethan Dykes. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Right. Hey, Lou, talk to me about your Golden Domers. Ain't much to say, bro. We had the game. We had a chance to win, and we couldn't get a stop at the end. You lose a game 42-41, you deserve to lose, bro. It's the same thing with the Giants. You give up 40 points, you deserve to lose the game. Like, I ain't got nothing for you. Like, last week against Miami, or 2 weeks ago against Miami, we didn't have enough offensive firepower. This week, we brought the offensive fireworks, and we forgot our defense at home. So, it is what it is. Like, we got a young quarterback. I feel like just get your weight up with your young quarterback this year. Let him get experience under your belt, because you're just going to lose another game at some point this season anyway. Even if you would beat Texas A&M, you were going to lose a game down the road anyway to somebody. Just get your weight up with your young quarterback. Next year, he'll have that experience under his belt, and now you can talk about potentially, winning a natty, et cetera, et cetera. But I ain't tripping about it. At all. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. We got 2 Monday night games coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I look forward to chopping it up with you guys for both of those games. Obviously, I know y'all heard the news about Jaden having an MRI. I know you've seen the tweet from JP Finley about there is some concern, but it's not major. So that means there is something wrong. We're going to hear from DQ tomorrow at 3:30 to get clarification on all of that stuff. See what's going on with John Bates and his groin. Same can be said for Noah Brown. Kind of get an injury update for all the guys that left the game, some that did return and others that did not. And kind of, wrap our brains around everything that transpired on Thursday night. So tomorrow's a pretty significant day in terms of DQ speaking to the media. So I will be live at some point tomorrow discussing that. Probably my schedule's going to be kind of wonky tomorrow, but if I can, I'm going to try to do my Commanders Nightly News live so we can talk. But if not, I'll put out the episode and then we can talk later that night if you're awake during overtime. But yeah, lots going on. So I'll see you tomorrow or today if you're on the East Coast. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T here on Sunday Night Football Overtime. Big shout out to Sleeper for supporting and sponsoring this stream. If you haven't already done so, Head over to Sleeper. Go down and go down in the description of this video. You will find a link there. Click that link. Use my promo code LTN to get you $100 deposit match up to 100% deposit match up to $100. Once again, the thing I love about Sleeper is you don't need a lot of money to win a lot of money. With the multipliers and the different deals, and they're giving you up to $100 of free money basically to use on the app. This is a deal that you just can't afford to pass up. Check to make sure that Sleeper is available in your state. It's available in over 25 states. Make sure it's available in the state that you currently reside in. And if it is, what are you waiting on? Download the app. Use my promo code LTN. Let's go make some money, man. I'm about to start killing it on this app because, like I said, it's trial and error for me. I'm figuring out what's smart things to do, what's not. And I'm getting closer and closer to hitting one of these sizable joints. I've been greedy of late. Maybe I need to go back to my little 4 or 5, picks. I've been 6 and 7, and I don't usually max out at 8, but I'm gonna be able to do that soon too, because I know which ones to go and which ones to leave alone. So anyway, I digress. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you guys next time. Once again, shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. You guys have a good night. Take care. God bless. Vikings 1-1. Falcons 1-1 after the Falcons go on the road to Minnesota and win 22-6. Peace.